And I don't know if you've got numbers from the last year, the last 2 years, but I know that the average number is in the thousands. And as I said, in Colorado, from 2 years ago to today, it's over 11,000 per family that it's costing more to live. What is it in the story that you have?
From Fox Business, the average American family has experienced a loss of roughly $6,000 in annual wages thanks to inflation during President Biden's tenure, according to an analysis shared with Fox Business. The analysis conducted by economist and Heritage Foundation research fellow E.J. Antoni showed the average American worker has seen annual wages decrease by $3,000, meaning families have seen a loss of $6,000 in annual wages thanks to high inflation. Antoni said the losses have had major impacts on families' earnings and quality of life as Americans struggle to pay for everyday items such as groceries and energy bills. People are just being absolutely crushed, he told Fox Business in an interview. It's not the price of caviar and yachts that are driving these numbers. It's necessities, it's staples. It's things like eggs, milk, flour, soup. These are things that are up 20 or 30% year over year. All of those additional costs are now creeping into the rest of the economy, essentially, and Tony continued, I really don't see much good news anywhere I look, unfortunately.
It's interesting because he's calling it wages. Inflation doesn't hit your wages necessarily, but if your wages don't rise at the same pace, and they're not, then it's going to cost you more for the goods and services. He says wages, then he talks about the price of eggs and soup. So I think we're talking about apples and apples here between the Colorado story at $11,000 and the national average of over $6,000. Can you imagine that? $6,000 more just to live your life and to buy things your family needs. That's mind-boggling because then you can't go and see a movie or go on a short vacation or go and enjoy, a day at the restaurant, whatever the hell it's going to be. You can't do any of that because you're not sure if you can afford the beef prices that might have gone up another 20%, since last time you bought it. So at the end of the day, right. Americans are suffering. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I have 2 teenage boys. I'm at the grocery store all the time. And every time I go in, it's almost like sticker shock that what I paid for, maybe last week or maybe last month is up about 50% or even more every time on almost every single item. And that adds up for a lot of people. We're talking about groceries to feed your family.
My mother is still mad at me from when I was a teenager. I can't imagine having 2 teenage boys. I had 3 sisters. She got lucky. I got 3 sisters. But, they would literally say, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I'm like, I need to eat. What are you talking about? Yes. What am I doing?
Yes.
Teenage boy need to eat. So, imagine that. And again, you and I are in a business where we're doing pretty well. But at the end of the day, there are people who used to live where they had a little bit left over to do maybe buy a pack of gum or go see a movie. Now they've got nothing left over, and they've got to figure out how to make up the difference, which is simply crazy. And it's all caused by policies of this president. There's no doubt.